Hi, I want to talk to you about cognitive warfare and how it's been applied on populations to get us to agree with war. Down within the description, you will find a link to a video, which is an interview conducted by Neutrality Studies with Dr. Jonas Tögel, a prolific German researcher. In his latest book, he talks about war games and cognitive warfare. This last bit I want us to focus today. But before, let me provide you with a brief framework of knowledge that is going to be very useful here. Through decades of research, testing, and collecting of data, scientists have arrived to the conclusion that our brains are divided up into two logical subsystems, System 1 and System 2. System 1, very cheap, extremely fast, highly reliable, efficient, runs all the time. System 2, lazy, slow, doesn't run all the time, and extremely expensive in terms of glucose. System 2 is also known to be our analytical side of our brains, and System 1 is known to be the non-analytical side of our brains. Let's focus on System 1 today. The following is a list of features attributed to System 1. System 1 is impulsive, intuitive, runs on feelings. It never challenges. It does not understand statistics. It does not understand quantities. System 1 builds narratives inside our brains. These narratives makes us feel safe, give us the sense of familiarity that gives us the impression that we are safe. It does that continuously, constantly. So, said that, you can understand that System 1 is really a player here. It keeps us out of danger, takes decisions extremely fast in a matter in regards of death of life. It keeps us safe, highly reliable and efficient. But at the same time is also the main point of our vulnerability. The main point of priming attacks, specifically on this talk today, is System 1 is the main victim of this cognitive warfare. In order for this cognitive warfare to work, it needs a System 1 like ours that runs on feelings and constantly builds stories, narratives that become familiar to us. So how do they achieve this? How do they take advantage of those two? Through the daily news. Through the daily news, we are fed news coming from those countries targeted for war. At this point, really, you don't have to worry about those news being fake or not. It really doesn't make any difference at all. It doesn't make any difference. But let me show you how it works. But first, let's run a little bit of experiment among us. Let me ask you something. How many species did Moses lead into the ark? Moses? Really? Moses? Wasn't Noah the one who led the animals into the ark? So you swallowed that pill. You did. So there it goes. Familiarity. You have in your brain, we have in our brains this sense of familiarity. We know that these animals led into the ark, check, familiar. Moses, yeah, is got a place in there, checked. Noah in there. So when you heard the question, you heard all familiar bits. So you didn't ask, you didn't challenge, and you just swallowed that pill. That's what we do every day when we get those news. By the way, you say, I understand worrying about fake news, but what about the true news? It doesn't make any difference, because those are filtered out news that you will swallow, and you will build this narrative of this horrible country that needs to be fought off.